The Netherlands built its empire on Javanese hunger. When the 19th century began, the Netherlands was struggling. Its empire was crumbling and its treasury was nearly empty after the Napoleonic Wars. But halfway around the world lay Java, fertile, populated and already under Dutch control. And in 1830 a new governor arrived, Johannes van den Bosch. And he had a simple idea. If a colony couldn't pay its taxes in cash, it would pay in crops. And this became known as the cultivation system. Every Javanese village was ordered to give up a fifth of its land, a fifth of its workforce, to grow cash crops for the Dutch state. That's coffee, sugar, indigo, tobacco, all destined for European markets. And in return, the government offered food security and even payment. But the quotas, they were crushing, and the people enforcing them were ruthless. In practice, villages ended up giving even more than 1/5. Local rulers, eager to please the colonial overseers, ended up demanding entire harvests. And when drought or disease hit, farmers still had to hit their quotas or face punishment. Those who failed could be flogged, imprisoned, or have their land seized. And as rice fields shrank, hunger spread. And in the 1840s, a famine struck. People ate mud, bark, and even grass to survive. And this is the most disgusting part. Families sold their children to pay the taxes that they didn't even owe. And all the while, Dutch ships filled with millions of pounds of coffee and sugar were sailing back to Amsterdam. And by the mid-century, a third of all of Dutch income came from Java. The canals of Amsterdam, the railways, the palaces, they were all funded by Javanese sweat and starvation. Yet in Europe it was celebrated. Politicians in Europe even called it humane imperialism. They rebranded it the ethical policy, saying it uplifted the natives through useful labour. Whole villages were disappearing. That's whole communities being wiped out through famine and disease. And even Dutch reformers started to turn against it. One, Edward Douws Dekker, exposed the horrors in his 1860s novel Max Havelaar. His words shocked Europe, explaining how ethics had been used to cover up exploitation. The cultivation system finally ended in 1870. But by then, the Javanese people were exhausted and impoverished. But the model lived on. The British used it in India for indigo, and the Belgians used it in the Congo for rubber. Colonial exploitation had found its blueprint, and the Netherlands had called it civilization.